Watched my fiancé sip espresso across from the woman who was funding our wedding. They thought I wouldn't understand what their hands under the table were saying. I was the one who built the table. I don't mean built the table in the twee Pinterest sense, though I have sanded my share of wood. I mean I built the room those tables sat in, figuratively. Hearth is what we called my greenhouse lab at Teleskivi Creative City in Tallinn. Glass walls, a reclaimed wood conference table from a carpenter named Olavi in Kalamaja, and 2 mismatched brass lamps that made every late-night prototype look gentler than it was. That was where I taught myself how to debug a condensation sensor at 0217, how to explain evapotranspiration to a skeptical agronomist at 1305, and how to say no to money that wanted to own me. I am Nika Voronin, 31, founder and CEO of Aeronest OU, a startup that makes climate control brains for urban greenhouses and rooftop farms. I live on Sutanav, in an old brick building with a dented turquoise door and a rooftop where I keep 3 hives. The beekeeper in me is the part people remember, the white suit, the hum, the way I rest my palm along a frame like it's a violin. My daily life is precision. I wake at 0610, drink black coffee in a chipped mug with a hexagonal crack, cycle past the water at Noblesna, and answer support tickets before 8 wow, so that when my team comes online, I'm theirs. My passion project What Grounds Me is a small plot at the community garden on Copley, where I grow thyme and tomatoes because I like the way their smells argue with each other. My former fiancé, was named Marcus Lanamets, 34. He called himself a performance consultant, which meant personal training, dressed in a higher hourly rate, and more black turtlenecks. He was kind in the way that handsome men are trained to be kind. Attentive, apparently, like a concession. He showed up to my first hardware demo with vegan pastries from a place on Pernu MNT I couldn't afford. He massaged my wrists after long soldering sessions. He listened when I talked about embeddings in our moisture prediction model, and actually asked follow-up questions. I let that glow hide his red flags. How he described other people's projects as cute, how he performed generosity, how he kept forgetting to include receipts when he expense-trenched my errands into our shared budgeting app, and then insisted he had sent them already. I thought he came from scarcity. I told myself I understood. We got engaged on 2024-10-05 at Pirita, statues squeaking in the wind. The ring was a modest sapphire, invoices assumed later to be lost when I asked. It's us, he said, meaning stone and sea and permanence. I believed him. At the time, Aeronest had 3 pilots, 2 in Tartu, 1 in Riga, 73,200 in the bank, and a runway of 9 months at our burn rate. Our product was a control unit the size of a paperback and a dashboard that looked prettier than it had any right to. I had a term sheet for 400,000 on my desk from a woman named Helena Unap, 46, a former logistics CEO who'd recast herself as a climate tech investor. She wasn't my first choice. Her reputation was stainless steel, sharp, polished, cold, but she moved fast and knew how to open doors at supermarkets that might want their own greenhouses. Seed money is speed money, Marcus would say, squeezing my shoulder. Take it while it's hot. Full story in the channel below.